sources. It must be an original writing when we are saying as a dissertation, as a conclusion to your research. It must be significant as well. When we are saying research, it is nothing which can be completed in one stroke or one step. As I have stated earlier, one has to dedicate his time and energy for the purpose of research activity. And that's why, though research is there for the second semester of your final year of post-graduation, we used to concentrate in respect of this from the very earlier, that is to say from first semester itself, wherein topics have been given, or you choose topic and make registration and start working on that. So entire semester you can consider as the time for your dissertation writing. So it cannot be completed in one stroke or in one step. There is no shortcut to research as well, which unfortunately few students who are just willing to complete their formal part of submission used to go. But this is very wrong. When we are saying research, there is no shortcut for that, because you will have to conceptualize your topic and you will have to analyze that. This is not the end of activity. You will have to make the suggestion in furtherance of your research activity. So that will be a complete act of research. When we are saying as to a good research, it requires systematic collection of data and its logical interpretation. And what exactly is important comes here, because when you are choosing a topic, your teachers might have guided you regarding choosing a topic, that first of all researcher will have to choose a topic of his area of interest. Then he will have to go for preliminary preparation in respect of topic. Say for example, if you are choosing family law as your one of your subject interest, so family law is having a lot of topics: marriage, dissolution, maintenance, succession, etc., etc. So what exactly you are going for? If you suppose you are going for maintenance, now under maintenance also, maintenance is there to wife, to parents, to children, to dependents, etc. So about whom you are willing to go for the study. So you will have to minimize or go in depth of the topic. Keep in mind, for PhD research, the time duration is high, and for dissertation writing, the time duration is comparatively small, and that's why you will have to choose a very small area for research. And when you select your topic, which is approved by your research guide, the next important step is to go ahead with the topic. And many a times when the data collection is the step, researcher get a lot of you can say disturbances. Why? Because when he nowadays, for most of you used to reply, sorry, depend upon the internet. During our time, we used to have the facility of textbooks only, journals, textbooks, etc., etc. But now the things are very convenient, and you can access internet and go for the data collection in respect of, no doubt, the doctrinal research. Now, when the data is to collect, what happens? The topic which we used to choose, apart from that, other you can say data which is not that relevant to our topic or objectives or hypothesis, they too appear. And in reading, it goes difficult for a research scholar to highlight which things and to leave which part, because irrelevant part you will have to strictly avoid. You will have to be within four corners of your research topic or objectives or hypothesis which is formulated by you. So which data is relevant for your research, that is to be systematically collected. If you are collecting irrelevant data, then your research will not be properly concluded. So collection of data is one of the important steps, and for that purpose, you will have to be very clear with the objectives which you have formulated and the hypothesis which you have proposed. Once the data is collected, then you will have to go for interpretation of that data. That should be obviously made logical along with testing of hypothesis. So research, whenever we are undergoing, these two are the pillars in respect of the activity. First one, collection of data, and second one, proper or logical interpretation of collected data. It consists of number of closely related activities. From the very beginning of deciding for a research topic till the submission of dissertation, there are number of closely related activities, including your area of interest, the time duration available, the availability of the data, the submissions, and all other aspects are there, along with the analysis and the actual or the practical aspect as to research. The steps which are involved in research, they are not mutually exclusive, nor they are totally separate and distinct. They are related to one another. We cannot have a compartment in respect of every step, as well as we cannot merge them together at a time, because from the topic of selection till final submission, there are number of steps which are involved in research activity. So they are neither exclusive, they are not separate. We will have to, you can say, correlate the steps with one another so that they will stand distinct, and they will have a connection with one another as well. So in this connection, we will have to go for the research activity. As your topic is selected, I will not highlight on the selection of research problem or formulation of research problem, because it will be unnecessarily create doubt in your mind that whether I have taken the topic properly or not. Whatever the topic for which you have registered, now you will have to go ahead. So when one person used to decide to undergo a research activity, the first and the foremost part is formulation of research problem. Now, when we are saying that I am undergoing a research activity, what exactly you are going for or what activity you will have to undergo, this should be very clear to you. And that's why when you are selecting a problem, first of all, that must be a problem which requires research. A very small topic cannot form a research topic for a dissertation. It can be a research for a research paper, like that, but the problem should be that significant for which you are able to go undergo an activity of research, collection of data and analysis, and undergo for conclusion and suggestion. This is the foremost important step in research. What usually we used to do, being students, we used to select the topic hurriedly, and then after we used to concentrate in respect of other aspects. But here the most important part is formulation of research problem. It is always stated that the research scholar must felt that problem personally, maybe by his practical experience, or maybe by his study which he has undergone, or maybe by suggestion or assistance of his research supervisor, or anything else. But that problem should be felt by the researcher himself. What matters, because until and unless we feel that problem, we realize that problem, we will not be able to go for solution. If a problem is stated, many a times students used to come and say that, ma'am, please you suggest the topic. But we don't suggest, or we never suggest in the way which is asked by students. The problem should be the area of interest of student, and it should be, you can say, analyzed by the students themselves. And that's why this is foremost important step, which must be given maximum time or maximum attention, because of which your further activities will be done smoothly. So first step in research is formulation of research problem. When you have decided, right now I have given you an example, family law, then in maintenance under, say for example, 125 CRPC, 125 CRPC for wife. This is, you can say, a selection of topic. Now, when you have decided that I wanted to go for research activity in respect of this topic, you will have to have an eye view in respect of the material available. Now, this is called as extensive study of literature, survey of literature. This is important from two aspects. First one, you can analyze whether the data is available so that you can run your study softly, smoothly, comfortably, conveniently. And secondly, up till now, what research has been done in respect of that topic. So the topic which you have selected, if it is already done, you cannot go for that research. No doubt the topic can be there, but the objectives and the hypothesis which you have formulated, it should not be the same one which has been already done. So this extensive survey of literature gives you two ideas. One is what data is available and whether your topic has been done, or whatever topic you are deciding, whether it has been done up till now, or what part is done and what is left. So this is second important step in respect of the research activity. Then the third one is formulation of hypothesis. Now, as to hypothesis, I will not go to make you confusion. Usually, in respect of dissertation writing, hypothesis is expected. Few research, you can say, guides are of the opinion that there is no need of hypothesis for every research. But you being the student for the post graduation dissertation writing, we expect you to have a hypothesis. Now, when we have decided our topic, when we have gone through the data available, what is being done till today and what is not yet done, when we used to analyze those aspects, we will have to make the hypothesis. Hypotheses are the tentative propositions, whatever the survey of data or literature available, which we have undergone. Based on that, few assumptions we used to draw at the beginning of our research activity. Like, say for example, we will again take the topic of maintenance. Nowadays, the rate of divorce is high, and high in India, no doubt. And the second aspect is there, that is the topic of maintenance. Many a times to go for mutual consent divorce, the huge amount is demanded by the wife or female in respect of that. So nowadays it is a high criticism that how 498A is getting misused. In that sense, the section maintenance is getting misused by the married women. So suppose you are willing to go for that, and you have formulated that many cases are there wherein a woman used to get married in a shorter duration of time. She wants separation because she is not able to manage in the house of her matrimonial house or house of her husband, and then she wants divorce. Or many a times for very small or flimsy grounds she wanted divorce. She is not ready to live with the parents. She is not ready to cooperate with her husband. She is not ready to make adjustments. So if it is so, whether it should be a ground for allowing a wife to have maintenance. Because if, say for example, a marriage has solemnized just 3 to 6 months before or 1 year, and both the parties have applied for mutual consent divorce, no doubt Supreme Court cases are there wherein a court has stated that if there is irretrievable breakdown of marriage, the statutory period of waiting for both the spouse need not have to be followed. So if parties are putting such condition, the aggrieved party as well as the victim party both wants to get rid of that relationship. And in such cases, we could see that huge amount of maintenance is claimed, and that is realized by the opposite party as well. So few cases are of such a kind wherein the maintenance or the rule as to maintenance is getting misused. So if by the reading in respect of your topic, if you found that the maintenance provisions are getting misused by the married woman, then you will have to make the hypothesis that maintenance should be revived. The law or the rule as to maintenance should be revived. So this can be your hypothesis. I'm not going in detail as to that one. I have just want give you an example as to that one. Now, when you know that maintenance, whether it is getting misused by a wife, married woman, if you have formulated this hypothesis, then you will have to search for such cases wherein the maintenance issue was there. For that purpose, you will have to decide the area of your research. That is to say, whether you are going for the Latur district, whether you are going for Marathwada region, whether you are going for Maharashtra, or you are going for entire India. When it is the topic as to dissertation, you can keep yourself up to your district depending upon the number of cases, or to the region Marathwada, or at the max Maharashtra. Maharashtra may not be required that much, taking into consideration the availability of time. Now the cases for maintenance, you have chosen 125 CRPC. If at all, you will have to stick yourself up to that part only. Maintenance under personal law, maybe Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, Hindu Marriage Act, or Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Divorce Act, Parsi Marriage and Divorce Act, etc. You will have to keep away. You will have to concentrate on 125 CRPC only. So how the data is to collect? You will have to go for the cases wherein the maintenance is granted on the as per the provision 125 CRPC. This is collection of data based on your one of the hypotheses. Then you will have to analyze data. Say for example, you have taken your research area as Marathwada region. You will have to go for the cases which are registered there. You will have to list out the cases, or you can select that instead of Marathwada entire court, not possible to go to every court, you can choose that you have collected data from so and so court. Or if you don't want to go for such kind of non-doctrinal research, you can go for collection of data from this year to this year. Now this is to 2022. You can say that the data of last 5 years or 6 years, whatever. So you can have collection of data of this case, you can say topic from the resources available on internet. So you can go accordingly. So data you will have to first of all collect. While collecting data, you will have to concentrate in respect of your research objectives. You will have to concentrate in respect of your hypothesis, and then you will have to collect the data meticulously. That is to say, within the four corners of your research area. Once the data is collected, you will have to systematically arrange data. Now, suppose you are taking data or collecting data from internet. It's not possible that the entire 5 years data will you will be able to list out or collect in one stroke. It requires time. So you will have to make a folder. You will have to make files. Then you will have to make a compilation. After making compilation, you will have to go year wise. This is the data of 2021. This is the data of 2020, then 19, like that. Whatever style or whatever objective hypothesis according to which you are to systematize your data. Now, if suppose you are giving the command for maintenance, you will have to just keep out those data, those part which is not relevant to your hypothesis or objectives. So no doubt the cases in which the maintenance is rejected, you will have to keep them out of your ambit. So the cases which are relating to your objectives and hypothesis, you will have to list them, and then you will have to analyze. And if it is your proposition in the beginning that women are misusing the provision, they are getting married and within shorter duration of time, they are claiming or demanding divorce along with huge amount of maintenance. So you will have to list out those cases in which such kind of facts are there. And then you will have to analyze them. In 2021, how many cases are of such a kind? In 2020, how many cases like that? You will have to go for that one. Now, once the data is there with you, after proper analysis, then you will have to test the hypothesis. What hypothesis you have formulated? That women are misusing, married women are misusing the provision for maintenance. If it is your hypothesis, you will have to test. Now, if you are finding after analysis that, say for example, 500 cases have been registered in 2020, out of them in 400 cases the maintenance is granted. Out of them, 200 cases are there wherein the amount of maintenance is quite huge or a big one. Then out of that, the duration of marriage you calculated that 10 to 15 cases are there wherein the duration of marriage was within less than 1 year. Now this is your testing of hypothesis. Total 500 cases, out of that 10 to 15 cases are there wherein within a shorter duration of marriage, divorce along with huge amount of maintenance has been claimed. Now this is your hypothesis testing. What hypothesis you have formulated? That maintenance is getting misused. And what conclusions you have found? Out of 500 cases of 1 year, 10 and 15 cases are of such a kind. Now here, whatever the hypothesis you have formulated, we can say that it is negative. Why? Because the percentage of cases which are misusing this provision, they are negligible as compared to the percentage of cases which are getting benefited. Understood? So your hypothesis got negative. In after preliminary study, what findings you have or what assumptions you have made that maintenance law is getting misused, that stood negative. See, one more important aspect, not only for your dissertation, but also in respect of your PhD research, if you are interested to go for, I would like to make that hypothesis negativing is misunderstood. Hypotheses are assumptions. They may be either affirmed or they may become negated. There is no harm to your research activity. Even few research guides used to suggest for affirmation of hypothesis. No need. You are undergoing research activity. The hypothesis which you used to draw at the beginning, it either got confirmed or it may got negative. It depends. So testing of hypothesis is important. It may be negative or it may be affirmative. It will not affect your research activity. Then generalization and interpretation. No doubt your research activity is concluded when you analyze data and test your hypothesis. Then you will have to make a general statement as to the work or the research activity you have undergone. And in that connection, you can analyze it stating that these were the cases, this was the data of this duration to which you have applied this hypothesis, which is either positive or negative, etc., etc. And accordingly, you will have to make the interpretation. The last steps here in this regard is preparation of report. That is the technical requirement, academic requirement for completion of your dissertation writing. Now, at the conclusion of your research activity, you will have to compulsorily make conclusions and no doubt suggestions as well. So this will help you out, or the reader, to analyze what activity or what exactly you have gone through. So entire activity you will have to conclude, and then you will have to give the suggestions as well. So this will be the end of your research activity, and what you have done, this you will have to give in writing in the last category or last step, that is preparation of report. So this is your entire research activity, which is divided into these 8 important steps. You cannot overlook or you cannot skip any one of this to have a complete research. That's why these all steps are very much important, and you will have to go one after another. I'm not saying that this should be the chronology, because it may be possible that a year data you may collect and analyze and keep it away, then another year you may choose. All the steps should be there. The choice is yours. See, research problem is the foremost important and the first step, that is important. Then survey of literature, many people used to skip, but that is very important to make the research activity perfect one. Then hypothesis objective formation is the third step. And as to data, you can move here and there. But conclusion is there in respect of testing of hypothesis and conclusion, that is generalization and interpretation. So mostly this is the chronology which is followed, but one step here and there you can have in your own way. That is okay. And the last one, that is you can say the evidence of your research activity, that is preparation of report. Documentary evidence, you can say over here, which is your dissertation, what activity you have undergone and how you have undergone. This entire activity is reflected in your report, and from academic perspective as well, this is very important. Now, how you will prepare a report, for which actually this uh, lecture has been organized by your college. The ultimate task in research work is to write the report of exercise done so far by you. It should be prepared with great care and caution. Many times what does happen, the research activity is undergone properly, but it is not placed in proper way in report writing. And that's why you may lose your marks, or you may lose your, you can say, the outcome of your research activity. So from academic as well as research perspective, if report is not properly written, it will affect your working. The main purpose of writing is communication of research to other. No doubt you are pursuing for LLM, and that's why whatever research you have undergone, if simple you are saying that I have done my research, will not satisfy the purpose. You will have to make the communication that what research you have undergone, and that's why report writing is important. Secondly, whatever the new researcher is going for, first of all he go for research problem, so other people will understand and know that this is the topic which has been already done by someone else, so I cannot do this topic. So communication of your research is the most important purpose of research writing or report writing, you can say. So when we are saying report, it has uh, some important parts. First is research problem, second is research procedure, third is result or outcome. These three are the main areas of your research report. First one is the report, problem. Second one is the procedure adopted, and third one is the analysis or conclusion, which is result and outcome. Fourth, you can add as to importance of findings, whatever the analysis which you are making regarding that, the fourth point is there. Now, when we are saying dissertation writing, it consists of three important parts which you cannot escape from the academic point as well. See, first part is preliminaries. These are the formal parts. The text is the middle and the important or the bulky part. And the third one is making your research authentic when you used to give the references. So preliminaries, text and references. Now again, I would like to highlight over here that the references, whether it is a part of research or not, it is again disputed one, but this is not the platform on which we can or we will have to decide this aspect. So these are the important three parts in respect of dissertation writing. We will highlight on the parts one by one. The first part is preliminaries. Now these preliminaries, they are having three you can say titles. One is title page, or you can say cover page. The practice which is adopted in Swami Ramananda Tirth Marathwada University, which is a general practice of writing, wherein the title of dissertation is is there. Second, the name of university, which is common, Swami Ramananda Tirth Marathwada University, Nanded. Then name of researcher, you will have to write your name. Then the name of your research supervisor, that is your research guide, your teacher. So the title should have these 4 points at least. Along with that, few colleges used to adopt the examination seat numbers or other details as well. But whether that will have to be added or not, that is your choice. But these 4 points are necessary. That is topic of your dissertation, name of your university, name of researcher, name of supervisor, and name of college you can add in this category. So this is your title page or cover page. Then preface is there, wherein acknowledgement and undertakings are important. Now this acknowledgement are nothing but an extension of thank you to the people who have helped you for the research activity, wherein you will have to specially thank your research supervisor, your principal, your college, library, if there is contribution of other aspects. If suppose you are going for non-doctrinal activity, then the resources from which you have collected data, etc., etc. So acknowledgement is a kind of thanksgiving, wherein you will have to acknowledge, you will have to thank the people who have helped you undergoing the research activity. Then one more important technical part is undertaking. And by this undertaking, you declare that your activity is original one. There is no copying, there is no plagiarism, there is no copy pasting which is made by you in this writing. So this undertaking you will have to make along with one concluding line that whatever I am submitting, I may be held responsible if something wrong is there of copying, plagiarism, etc., etc. So such kind of undertaking is necessary in preface. Then the third part is there, that is forward, where an actual part of work we can say starts. The first one is certificate. Certificate may be provided to you by your college, or a format may be given by the college wherein the certification is given to you by your name, your class, your group, your examination seat number, and your topic along with your guide. So guide as well as coordinator and principal of college, they used to make signature on certificate. Then the table of contents, to which we can also call as index. They are nothing but your, you can say, the mirror of your body of research. In all research writings, the first topic or the first content is no doubt introduction, and the last is conclusion suggestion. Usually 6 to 7, at the max 8 to 9 topics are sufficient, or the chapters are sufficient, not more than that. And for an ideal research, 7 is the best criteria. First is introduction, last one is conclusion suggestion, and middle 5 are the research area in which it depends upon your topic how you are going for. So the preliminary contains title page, preface and forward. All these comes one after another. That is to say, after cover page, undertaking acknowledgement is there, then certificate is there, and table of content or index is there. So this is the preliminary part of your research report. Then comes the main part, that is text. Now, in respect of text, there are two subdivisions. First one is introduction and methodology, and then after the analysis and presentation of result. In respect of introduction and methodology, no doubt the preliminary aspect you will have to give, that a brief idea about selection of topic or research problem. You will have to make an introduction. Then after, you will have to give objectives of study, with what objectives you have undergone or you are undergoing your research activity. Then review of literature. Once the research problem is decided, you will have to make a review of available literature. So what data is possible for you to collect and what is already been done, this is known to you by review of literature. Then you will have to form the hypothesis. Even if a topic is chosen by you which is not yet you have studied, you can go for that. But for that purpose, you will have to first of all testify what has been done in this regard, what exactly is the position right now. And then after, when the literature is reviewed by you, you comes to some assumptions that this would be the possibility or this might be the possibility. And that is nothing but the hypothesis which you are formulating. Now, when objectives, hypotheses are there with you, you will have to select the methodology. Sometimes the topic requires strictly non-doctrinal method, and sometimes it is flexible. You can go for doctrinal as well as non-doctrinal. Doctrinal method is based on the secondary data, wherein from the textbooks, commentaries, etc., you can collect data. So the methodology is comfortable. You can be at any place because your mobile phones are as good as computers now, and you can have collection of data and storage anywhere. You need not have to wander here and there in respect of collecting data, which is time taking, energy taking, sometimes money taking as well. Usually we prefer to go for doctrinal research for dissertation, but anyone who is interested or who has already gone through the topic as an area of interest, if he is having certain data, then he can go for non-doctrinal as well. In non-doctrinal data, in doctrinal method, the data is to be collected by the researcher himself. First-hand data is required. So depending upon the nature of topic, one has to go at the different offices, different people, different places. And sometimes if government is the office or private person is at office, it comes under even the information law as well, whether the information can be revealed or not, etc., and that's why we prefer to go for doctrinal research, but you can have non-doctrinal as well. So you will have to mention in the introduction itself what methodology you are going to go for your research activity. So your chapter number 1 includes all these points. Introduction, that is introduction of your topic. Then you will have to formulate objectives, then a review of literature, hypothesis and methodology. And apart from that, you will have to mention scope and limitation as well. As I have stated that maintenance, if you are going for, you are not going for the maintenance entirely. You are going maintenance under CRPC. So that will be your limitation. And you are keeping your data up to Latur, up to Marathwada, or you can say from 2018 to 2021. So this is the scope and limitation. After cases or before cases, you need not have to analyze. So usually it is stated that whenever a person used to go for research activity, he will have to limitize his research. He will have to give a specific scope, because all angles 360-degree, we cannot go for a research activity in a shorter duration. That's why scope and limitations are important. But unfortunately, many researcher as well as research guide, they are careless as to this point. But I do insist you to give such a limitation and scope so that the queries cannot be put to you unnecessarily. Then data collection, what I have highlighted earlier, you will have to collect data based on your objectives and hypothesis, and keeping in mind the scope and limitation, so that within shorter duration of time, you can have proper data collection. Suppose your objective is one kind and the data collected is going on another path, it will not suffice your purpose. So you will have to mention that what data or from what kind you are going to collect data. If it is doctrinal method, you will have to go for the textbooks, commentaries, other literature, etc., etc. If you are willing to go for non-doctrinal methods, then you can go for other aspects of collection of data like interviews, etc., etc., questionnaire, and other aspects. So data collection, how you are going to collect data, you will have to mention in one paragraph. And the last in the list is scheme of chapterization. So your first topic of your dissertation writing should include all these aspects. Scheme of chapterization, wherein you used to mention that what will be the topics which you will have to cover, or which you will cover one after another. Now in scheme of chapterization, obviously first chapter is introduction, which includes objectives, hypothesis, methodology, scope, limitation, data collection, etc., etc. Second topic is usually the conceptual topic, wherein the you can say the important, or you can say the keynotes you will have to interpret. So conceptualize. So that is usually the topic. Conceptualization is your second topic. Now, depending upon your title, uh, the third topic depends. That should be the main area of your research. Now, if you suppose you are making comparative study, comparison with of India with other states, you will have to go for that kind of data. If you are making an analytical study, you will have to go for that one. If you are making a critical study, you will have to go accordingly. See, writing a topic, writing a title for research is again a skillful aspect. If you are saying critical study, you will have to critically analyze your research topic. If you are saying comparative study, your topic should be compared with some other system. Accordingly, you will have to select your topic, and then you will have to move ahead. So the third topic is usually in respect of data, legal aspect, being law research, what laws are in existence in respect of that you will have to mention. Then after fourth topic usually is there in respect of the judicial interpretations, etc. And fifth topic is there, that is in respect of your uh, if comparative, analytical, critical, whatever studies are there in that regard. Sixth topic is there your you can say testing of hypothesis, etc., etc., or interpretation of judicial cases. And finally seventh one is your conclusion and suggestion. So depending upon your research title, the chapterization you will have to make, it should be always at least 5 to 7. Standard format is 7, but 6 are also okay, and not more than 8 to 9. This is the ideal practice which is usually followed worldwide. Then the next aspect is there, that is analysis and presentation of result, that is report of fact, data analysis, interpretation. Now these are the points which you will have to mention one after another, and finally the conclusion, that is generalization and conclusion. So this is the concluding part of your research report writing. So this is the main you can say content. of your text. That is the main body of your research dissertation. One more I would like to add over here, that is recommendation. Not only concluding your research activity that you have done this much and these are your findings, you can have a recommendation. Like say for example, what hypothesis you have formulated, if it is true, sorry, if it is for affirmed that whatever your findings or observations were there, that has been confirmed at the end of your research. Yes, this is the fact that section 125 CRPC is getting misused by the married women. So if it is your finding, then you will have to make recommendation. You can put certain you can say suggestions that this should be the law, this should be the reason, etc., etc. Like say for example, you can make a suggestion that within 1 year of marriage, if a divorce petition is getting filed, there should be restriction or limitation for provision as to maintenance, or depending upon other aspects. Actually, in respect of maintenance, already the discretion is to the court to take into consideration the lifestyle, the requirement, the liabilities, the needs of both the parties, not only the claimant but as well as to the respondent also. And then after during your research and findings, if you come across with certain understandings, analysis, then you will have to make the recommendations as well. That is the best part in respect of research as well. Sometimes the recommendations may give rise to some different research area also. And now the final part, that is references. References include bibliography, appendices, glossary of terms, and abbreviations. Now, bibliography are nothing but the list of books which you have referred for the purpose of your research. Bibliography are the list of websites which you have gone through for the purpose of your research. Appendices are the supplements which you can add. Suppose your research topic is in respect of a particular act, so you can have a copy of their act. Then glossary of terms, particular terminologies if you are there using in respect of your research, then you will have to list them out. And if you are using abbreviations which are very common in respect of legal research, as to name of court, name of high courts, or the journals, etc., etc., then you will have to make the list of abbreviations also. So these are necessary for the purpose of going through your research report. Bibliography makes your research authentic. If you are undergoing study but you are not listing out the books and the you can say websites which you have referred, it can be generalized that it may be a copy pasted matter, ready-made matter which you are using. That's why the references are giving an authenticity to the research activity, and abbreviations or glossary of terms makes the understanding clear. If a non-law person is using or reading your research, what is AIR, he is not able to understand. But being a student of law, it is very convenient for us to understand what is meant by AIR. So abbreviations, or apart from that, many a times we used to go for abbreviations. So that is to be followed. Before I conclude, I would like to make a look in respect of one more important part as to research writing, and that is footnote. Footnote is a reference to a source of information which appears at the bottom of a page. Now, if suppose your area of research is judicial interpretation, you will have to use n number of cases in your references. So wherever a case law you are using, if you are writing so and so versus so and so, you will have to give a footnote on the same page, which is at the bottom of page wherein the citation is given. Say for example, AIR 1992 Supreme Court, page number so and so. Like this, footnotes are important. As to research writing, if it is article or paper, many times end notes are there, but it is entire dissertation, which is a bulky writing report writing. That's why footnotes are usually preferred, which are at the bottom of page itself. Uh, the style of writing footnote are also specific in Swami Ramananda Tirth Marathwada University. Either the blue book style or Harvard method is used. Now, how you will have to write your reference or footnote is there. Like in blue book style, you will have to first name the author, then the title of book, then the publisher, then year of publication, and then the page number. Like name of author S.N. Pandey, title Constitution of India, publisher Central Law Publication, year of publication 2020, page number is at so and so. So whatever the part of that book which you are taking in your report, that is indicated by footnote. So either this or that, any one out of these two methods you will have to follow, not both. If you are following blue book style, you will have to go for blue book style during your entire activity, or if you are going for Harvard method, you will have to go in the same way. Actually, if you make a look, contents are almost similar, but the chronology is different. In Harvard method, author's names comes first, then year of publication, then title, then edition, then other aspects. So choose any one of the method for writing footnote. Don't mess up with this. And if footnotes are properly written, it indicates that you are sincere, you have sincerely worked. Otherwise, if it is copy pasting, it may be a copy from one text, another text, and it will be easily revealed that this is not your original work. So footnote writing is important for our own writing anywhere you are going for. One more important part is there for which footnotes are important, to check plagiarism. As, right now I have stated that judicial interpretation is your area of research or topic of your research. Obviously, you will have to go through number of case laws, and you will have to take paragraphs of judgment in your report writing. So as it is, if you are taking paragraph, what will happen? It will be copied and it will be revealed that the copy is there. And that's why if plagiarism is to testify, the references and the footnotes are very important. So what is plagiarism? It is a wrongful appropriation and stealing and publication of another language, thought, idea, or expressions, and the representation of them as one's own original work. So if you are not giving references, if you are not giving footnotes, and you are placing your report, it amounts to plagiarism. Yet the practice of testing plagiarism for dissertation is not started in our university. It is there for PhD. So if it is more than 30%, it amounts to an offense, that you have stolen someone else's work. Like it is intellectual property and it amounts to an offense. That's why to have a plagiarism free work, references and footnotes are important. Even if there is no plagiarism testing by university for dissertation writing, but morally and ethically you will have to be there with your original work. Being experienced, your teacher, supervisor, or your you can say examiner, they will get a very clear idea whether the work is original or whether it is copy pasted. And that's why even if it is not tested by university as a parameter for your assessment, we ourselves will have to be careful for that. This is my suggestion. Plagiarism is considered as academic dishonesty and a breach of journalistic ethics as well. Apart from offense, it is a dishonest behavior as well as it is against the law of ethics also. So one should not go for that aspect. Now into scheme of chapterization, what I was telling, I'll give a very short idea as to this one. That usually this should be the pattern of your chapterization. First one is your introduction, second is conceptual study, third is historical background, fourth is legislative provisions, fifth is judicial interpretation, sixth is comparative study, seventh is conclusion and suggestion. Usually this is the pattern which is ideally followed for the purpose of your research and for LLM or dissertation writing. So you can go from this method as well, or you can go for any other chapterization or scheme of chapterization with the help of your research supervisor. The choice is yours. So thank you so much for your kind attention towards my lecture. And if at all you are having any problem,
Yes, thank you very much, madam.
then you can go ahead.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
The questions, any queries, difficulties in relation to preparation of dissertation are invited. Yes, Deepak Kendra is there. Go ahead.
मॅम मला एक प्रश्न विचारायचा आहे. इम्पॉर्टंट भाग हा आहे की फॉन्ट साइज, फॉन्ट स्टाईल आणि जो पॅराग्राफ असतो तो किती इंचांचा बनवायचा वगैरे.
Yes, please repeat your question.
Font size, font style, it's Roman and any other style. Font size 12 or 14.
Usually font size is kept 12 or at the max 14. Times New Roman or Arial is usually the practice followed, but the instructions might be given by your college itself regarding that one. As to footnote writing, the font size should not go beyond 10. So there is no such a specification as to the font style and font size, but usually this practice is followed, not more than 12 or maximum 14. And for footnotes, it should never be more than 10.
And the paragraph name?
Paragraph depends upon the contents. It's not the number. Quantity is immaterial. Quality matters. Depending upon your research topic, how and in what way the paragraphs are there, that is your choice. A paragraph can be of 2 sentences also.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else?
Yes, anyone else?
Hello, madam. English. Yes. Scheme of chapterization की जरा slide एक बार दाखवत होता बघ. Last slide.
Yes, English sir. In relation to that scheme of chapterization, then I will provide you the slides by taking it from respective madam. If
okay,
you have any doubt, you may ask.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other question? Yes, ma'am. It is there. Okay. Any other question from student side? Oh, it's okay. Your guidance was so thorough, madam. Nothing has been left. Thank you very much, madam. Your guidance is very nice. It will really be instrumental and very useful to our students to complete their dissertations. During your lecture, you have given us the thorough guidance in relation to the research, dissertation, the meaning, nature and scope of both of these concepts, the major steps of research, body of and content of dissertation, how the data is to be collected for it, the references, the role of plagiarism, then the importance of footnotes in doing a good dissertation. Madam, you also highlighted that the sincerity and honesty are the two most important qualities for a researcher. So the students should try to adopt these qualities so that their dissertation will become a fruitful dissertation. Madam, we are really thankful to you. Your guidance will really be helpful to our students in doing the fruitful dissertations, and they will learn a lot after the completion of dissertations, and the same knowledge, the qualities they earn while doing research will be helpful in their rest of lives. So thank you very much, madam.
Thank you
Now,
so much, sir. The pleasure is all mine.
uh, now at conclusion, it is my duty to express gratitude. Firstly, I express my gratitude for towards Dr. Bandewar Madam, as she readily accepted our invitation and delivered such a keynote address on the very important topic of how to prepare dissertation. Thank you very much, Madam. It is our Dayanand Education Society, under the auspices of which we are the essential part. We are the essential part of it, and under whose auspices we are working. Then I am very thankful to our Dayanand College of Law, Latur, and the in-charge principal, Madam, respected Nathani Madam, because she has always been a source of inspiration for all of us for arranging, conducting such programs. I equally thank to my colleague faculty members who have taken time and they remain present to attend this webinar. And at last but not the least, I am very thankful to our students who, with very patience, learned learned remain present and learn the knowledge which has been offered by our resource person. Thank you very much. And with the help of this, I take an opportunity to declare that this webinar has been completed.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.